Hey everybody, it's Bill Holmes. Welcome to tonight's edition of ProjectManagementForum.net. I'm here because I love projects, and I hope you're here because you want to learn a little bit about them. And as you can tell from the background, I'm in another hotel room in another city because I travel so much for work. This is part of my continuing series on project management principles for the C-suite executive. And I'm specifically doing this series because as an executive myself, I have found myself many times needing to understand enough the technical details of the project that I was running. And I suspect many of you find yourself in the same situation. You have an important project, you've assigned a project manager to it, and they're starting to talk to you about scope, cost, schedule, triple constraints, and you're probably going, don't know what any of that stuff is, but it sounds important. So we're walking through that logically in this series. And this particular series is focusing on requirements. So we talked earlier about the fact that the genesis of requirements is the charter, where you as the purchaser describe what you're expecting for the project. That's a very loose description of that. On the other side of it is the scope statement, where the person who's performing the work describes what they think you want in the project. And so that's where we left the last one. Now we're going to talk about requirements themselves. When I say requirements, what I'm referring to are the features that the customer wants. So what the project manager will do is the project manager will sit down and they will get a list of all of the features that the purchaser wants. Now, once they have that list, they're going to look at that list and they're going to go to the subject matter experts and they're going to say, okay, what's it going to take to deliver that? Now, that often leads to a secondary list of technical requirements. Let me give you a very easy example about that. Let's say that you're asking to build a website. And let's say that as part of that website, you say, I would like the ability to handle credit card transactions on the website. That's a fairly simple requirement. Now, the very fact that you ask for a website, if you're a large organization, is going to require that project manager then to go to the organization's chief information security officer, probably whoever their web development team is, and say to them, what is the requirement to set up this web page within the rules and regulations of this particular organization, which is going to lead to a bunch of technical requirements which must also be met by the project manager, because it doesn't do you any good to build a website that has an ability to handle transactions that in fact can't be turned on because it doesn't meet the technical security requirements that your chief information security officer wants. So again, requirements are nothing more than a list of the features that you as the purchaser, if you're the one that's asking for the project, needs in a project. That then splits out into two specific branches. One is the business requirements, which are what you want, and then it's the technical requirements, which are required by either what you asked for or the ecosystem in which you're evolving in, but all of which are part of the scope of the project. Okay, in the next session, we're going to talk a little bit about decomposition and what that means. Thanks a lot. Bye.